Seconds out, round one.
Well, Lerrone, sniper the boss Richards, has only boxed once since December 2021, but what a class operator he is. He is, having walked into black and yellow by Wiz Khalifa in the black and yellow, a nod to Muhammad Ali, the bee colours. He wants to sting like a bee. He certainly can float like a butterfly as well, but various trainers have wanted a little bit more from him, a sense that for all that he has achieved, British and Commonwealth and European titles, he sometimes boxes to the level of his opponent. He's now with Grant Smith in Sheffield, and they want him to be more active, busier in there, and fully realise his potential. Up against Mickey Ellison tonight from Darwin in Lancashire. A tough opponent, certainly good enough to win a Central Area Light Heavyweight Championship, but of course Richards should be the one here, Barry, controlling it.
Yeah, the problem Richards has, the fantastic problem he has, is he has a beautiful long right-hand jab. It's really long, it's fast, it's accurate. So he's won fights on that, solely on that, and probably way too often have only done that, and that's where people have said, try and do a little bit more. But 2020, when he beat the Calaris, who's still going to box for European title soon, Gongora was a great win, undefeated Carlos Gongora, and he just thought that was him, that was his opening. It's a world level and really push on, and just something happened and time went away from him. But now you see it back to rebuild, and he's promised us a little bit more of a less cautious, I wouldn't say aggressive, less cautious Lerrone Richards.
He's always been quoted as saying that it's the sweet science, that it's hitting and not getting hit. Maybe they just want a little bit more than that from him, but the skill set, George, is very impressive.
He is one of the most skillful fighters we have in these British shores. I think loads and loads around sparring with Lerrone Richards, because he would come in and he would just give you fantastic work when he was still relatively inexperienced professional, and I'm challenging for world titles. But as Barry sort of said, the problem with being really cautious, sure, you don't get hit, but also sometimes it's hard to market to you. It's hard for the promoters to back you and get you to big fights. People are looking at him like, can't hit him with a bag of rice. So why do I want to fight this guy? And unless you've got a high profile and you can bring the money in, essentially, then no one's going to give you an opportunity. And so far, I mean, for 17 fights, he's only missing one of the 4 major world titles. And he hasn't put, as we said, he hasn't put a foot wrong. And even now in this fight, he's in full control. He's controlling the distance. We want to see that spike, you know. Floats like a butterfly. We want to see him sting like a bee.
Ellison landed a long right hand there. Richards has been in control over much of the round. Lovely right hand there from Richards to finish it off.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Get ready.
Seconds out, round two.
Beat Harry Matthews in Leicester in May, knocked him out in the 4th round. That was his first fight with Grant Smith. Lerrone Richards hopes to build on that here against Mickey Ellison, who lost last time in Plant City in Florida against Radivoje Kalajic. Stopped in the 8th against someone who challenged for the world title against Artur Beterbiev.
What Richards did just there is the prime example of him. Brilliant. That's a really good combination. Great judgment of the distance. Everything's behind that long jab. But his first thought, and I was the same way, his first thought is to take a step back into a safe place. And that's brilliant. But now he has to, he's at the stage of his career where, at his weight as well, you land with a good shot, you've got to learn to advance. I mean, whether you change the angle of attack or just a little pivot to the side, but it has to be, the thought process has to be slightly more aggressive. The jab's superb though. It really is such a fast, accurate shot.
I think the way that Mickey Ellison, big Blackburn Rovers fan, wants to go about his work is summed up by his nickname, Demolition Man, Caveman. He's trying to do it that way, but at the moment he can't really get anywhere near Lerrone Richards. Doubles up that southpaw jab.
Actually, I take it back, it's not fast. The timing is exceptional. It's just, he has just great timing with the shot. It's actually not that fast at all, but he never misses with it.
You're right, Barry. It's fantastic timing. There's that element of him fighting within himself, which is great. It's exactly what you need. But then when you want that urgency of putting a bit more spite on the punches, which I'm not expecting from him yet. We're still in round 2. But there has been periods in his career where, you know, you want him to just ramp up that pressure. And I'm sure that's what they'll be on. His corner will be on him tonight. You know, Grant Smith in his corner will be telling him, right, you've established your jab, you've established the distance, you've landed, now it's time we're going to work.
And George, that's mental, isn't it? It's not physical. It's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a process, you know, like, you'd imagine it starts in the gym, it might start on the focus mitts, pads, and then you have to bring it into the sparring. And it might take a little bit of time, but once you're in, you know, underneath the spotlight, in there in a real fight. But you're right, it's a conscious thing. You have to put the shots together. I mean, that was great from Lerrone. He stepped across to his right, landed that straight left hand.
And he's doing all the right things. So he lands with 2 lovely shots, by the way, and he's controlling the pace perfectly here. And he takes a step back into a safe place, which is the right thing we should do. But then we criticise him for it.
Another excellent round from Lerrone Richards here.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And he always looks so relaxed as well.
So he does take that. I mean,
Seconds
I had him on
out,
my podcast
round
and he's telling
3.
me, I'm saying, how about a fight with Benavidez? He's like, in a heartbeat, I'll take him. He said, I'll fight anyone that's super middleweight and light heavyweight. So we're throwing names at him. Beterbiev, Bivol. He's like, yes. And the problem he's got is no one's going to give him them fights. But if he came out and boxed this way against those guys, we'd be celebrating it because of the skill. But when he's in there with guys who you think you're a level above this opponent, you need to put it on them, that's when he's going to sort of face a little bit of, not stick, but people are going to be pressuring him to have that aggressive style.
Shameless.
Thank you. You spotted the podcast plug, did you? I did as well.
Shameless that was.
It's okay, Barry, you're never on any podcast at all. As Richard lands again with that left hand. It's interesting, though, that phrase that we often throw at fighters, box to the level of your opponent. Remember, it can work both ways. It can happen against Mickey Ellison, it can happen against Canelo Alvarez, you know?
But I don't think he boxes level as well. He just boxes this way, the same way with every guy. This is how he does it. In the basics, straight shots. He takes a little step back, and the feet skip back, and you see it there really quickly. Because he has such a long, lovely reach and just fantastic timing with his shots, you can always find the target.
Yeah, he's very fluid. He's almost got that old school American sort of style and flow. You can imagine he's come out of Philadelphia in the 80s or something.
Well, George, you took the words out of my mouth, because I had to smile when I saw the list of his favourite fighters. Ali, of course, we can see that with the B motif. Crawford, which is not the worst shout, but the one that jumped out at me, Pernell Whitaker, one of his big heroes, and that makes a lot of sense when you watch him.
Absolutely. But keep it to yourself when you're trying to sell yourself to promoters.
He's boxing out here. Because you give Ellison's one of those guys with his record doesn't really portray how tough he can be. He will give an opportunity. He can give you a hard night's work.
Well, that fight against Kalajic that I mentioned, up against a real class opponent. The fans there in Florida were right on Ellison's side. He was down, but he showed great spirit, great heart, and won that Central Area title against Thomas Whitaker Hart. That was a surprise. That was a really, really good win for him.
Yeah, I was there that night. He boxed tremendously. That really did. I just like to see. That's one thing I noticed with Richards, when he throws that left hand, that hand there, it doesn't quite push off the back leg. It lacks, it's accurate, but it lacks a little bit of weight.
Uppercut there from Ellison.
It's a mind throwing, Barry, isn't it? If you're thinking about the defence more than thinking about the attack every time, all the time, then you are taking a sting off the shot.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 4.
So round 4 of 8 here. Impressive displays so far, as we expected from Lerrone Richards. Great heart too from Mickey Ellison, who's had little pockets of success himself. Enjoying the skill set of Lerrone Richards. Born in Carshalton in New Malden at the moment. Trains at that Steel City gym in Sheffield. And a bit more weight on that straight left hand from him.
Yeah, Lerrone took the follow as well, wasn't it? Ellison going to try to slip that jab somehow on the outside if he can, with the head to the left, and then take a step forward and fire that right hand through the middle. He tried it there.
Great foot movement though from Richards, just extricating himself, and then he catches Ellison with that right hook on the temple. The senses were scrambled there momentarily.
Well, Ellison's throwing the right hand, but he's I said move your head to the left, he's moving your head to the right, which is lining him up to the shot there for Richards.
Foot has just gone on the gas from Richards, as it did against Harry Matthews in round number 4.
It just makes you miss by an inch, doesn't he? So a little half a step back, he takes that back foot back and a step front foot, just slide out a distance with him.
Making Ellison reach all the time here. Getting the power in that jab, and he turned it into a hook there, and then a straight left hand, and you just sense that he's really starting to pump up the pressure here.
Yeah, he is. No, he's ramped it up. Sniping the boss in this 4th round. He's started to find the target with both hands. It's a subtle adjustment to the feet. So time and time again, you get orthodox feet southpaw and they're battling who can get their front foot on the outside. But really, the battle is the position of the lead hand. The sniper there, he's giving Ellison, letting him fall forward and then just catch him with that check right hook each and every time. Sometimes got a bit more weight on it, sometimes it's just a cuffing shot. He just knocks Ellison off balance every time.
Whether Ellison is credit, he's still trying to march forward, isn't he? And getting a little bit of success from it. But he is walking on the shot, so he's having to walk through the shot. Yeah, from Richards. You've got to walk through those to get both. Yeah, Ellison, but he's willing to do it.
In a way, it's Ellison's positivity that it's allowing Richards to look really good here. Marching forward gamely, but being picked off by the outstanding Lerrone Richards.
Great football there from Richards.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Let's go. Nice and sharp. Come on, you're breaking down with that rhythm every round.
Seconds out, round 5.
Lerrone Richards said he would have been a sports psychologist if he hadn't been a boxer, and it does feel like he's reading your mind in there. One of those fighters as well that, if you look at the nickname in black and white, sort of raise an eyebrow, but once you see him fight, it makes perfect sense.
On my podcast, ladies and gentlemen, he said that he calls himself Sniper the Boss because he's the boss of snipers, which he came up with his dad way back when he was an amateur boxer, trying to break through.
Heavy long left hand again there from Richards.
Clever fighter, Lerrone Richards, clever fighter, and every round I feel like he's trying to add a little bit more, give him a slightly different take, a different look, and I'm hoping this round is when he starts to let his hands go and come with that second wave. So when he has success, not letting Ellison off the hook, he'll come again. A bit more activity, which I think we're starting to see.
Ellison still marches forward gamely here. Left to the body there, just changing levels. Lerrone Richards.
Just making Ellison pay. Every time Ellison misses, he has to take the shot off, whether it's a heavy shot or not. Which just makes him pay every time he makes a mistake.
Alex Matvienko in Mickey Ellison's corner, telling him that Richards felt that shot. Ellison is feeling these, certainly.
It's better from Richards there, just doubling up with that left hand.
Because Ellison is the bigger, stronger man and makes Richards' task a little bit tougher. Hard to discourage. He just builds absolutely everything off that jab. He lands that jab accurately more often than George Groves mentions his podcast.
I doubt that. No, he is Richards. He's a reactive fighter. He's too efficient. He makes you pay for every mistake. So when the fight slows down, it's because the opponent's not willing to commit as he was in the earlier round. So Richards is doing his job the way he should be doing it. And then, yeah, we criticise him for that because we want to see a more exciting product. But what he does is, as George says, he's a clever fighter. He's always thinking, looking to add to it. But he's a reactive fighter, first and foremost.
Some real intent to try and finish this.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 6.
As round 6 of 8 gets underway, go on then, George. You want that intent from him, and how do you want that intent to look? Just talk us through it as Lerrone Richards goes about his work here.
So Lerrone Richards almost punch perfect to this point, but he hasn't had that intent of wanting to punch through the target and get rid of Ellison. So I want to see the second wave. So when he lands one, a good shot, then come again. Don't think, right, I'll create enough distance where I'm out of range and there's nothing coming back. Just come again. Head and body. In orthodox v southpaw, there's always a lot of body on show because you can't mirror each other as such. You sort of you can wing that backhand in and then you've got a lot of target to aim at. Seen it a few times throughout the fight, but not enough for me. And then just change that attack. It goes to the body, go to the head. It really put Ellison under pressure with some heavy shots, some power shots now. Even if you do run the risk of maybe getting one back, you know, it is boxing. You might get caught from time to time, but ultimately, I was a sport where we want to see finishes, you know?
Absolutely. He has 4 of them in his 17 wins. Hugely impressive career so far in terms of results and titles won. Just moving it to that next level and showing his skills at that high level. That's where he wants to be.
So comfortable there for him, isn't it? Making Ellison miss. Ellison's just trying to power forward. You're given an opportunity, hold your feet, and you have success, as you've seen there. But he's pretty much doing what he wants to do when he wants to do it here so far.
Ellison's feet are not quite quick enough to get himself into range and let his hands go.
Put more weight on that left hand there from Richards.
Yeah, there are little glimpses of that, aren't there? His old trainer Alan Smith used to shout, change gears at him over and over again in fights, and that's what everyone wants to see.
But again, though, we're all saying this, but he's doing nothing wrong, he's doing everything right. But we want more. I understand that it's an entertainment business, but for what he's doing, technically, is the right thing. He's not getting hit, he's outboxing you, clearly, comfortably.
Lovely work there again from Richards. Fantastic balance. You look at his feet and look at Ellison.
Glancing left foot there from Ellison.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 7.
The penultimate round. Lerrone Richards in the black and yellow trunks here, real flash. That's the theme, isn't it? That's the image. up against the Blackburn Rovers fan, Mickey Ellison. Who also, by the way, has a win over Harry Matthews in Bolton in December 2018. He'll be in Bolton December the 1st, coming up in 3 weeks' time. Isaac Lowe against Lee McGregor will be the main event that night.
As you said, Joe, all joking aside, you are saying you're boxing well, don't make any silly mistakes, and you know, to win a fight, you would literally just say, keep doing what you're doing. But I would think they would be saying what you're saying. There's a second phase, you can go again. When you hit with the right, when you hit with the left hand, don't take 2 steps back. Just take a little semicircle, a little half an arc over to your right, and just go again. Rather than move away from the target, move around the target, and you can fire back.
Great work again there from Richards, landing that straight left hand. Sets it up so well, he's barely been able to miss with it tonight. The point that George made as well about how much more we admire the skill set when you go up the levels is a fascinating one. Dimitri Bivol is not the worst example of that. Always called brilliant but boring, and then beats Canelo Alvarez and he's a genius. It was a great performance, but he didn't actually do that much different to what he'd already been doing.
Yeah, there's fights that you can get away with it. That's the thing, Dave. And then as you go through right up to the very top, you know, you appreciate the skillful boxing, but you do get criticised for it on the way up. And there is an element of that. We've seen the good work. Now, get rid of the guy in front of you, because he's what the team in the promoters want to see. Bivol has done that. Bivol does do that.
But when you're and I was a reactive fighter, so I know when you're a reactive fighter, you can be in good fights, but it takes your opponent to force. He has to force the pace. So Richards could be in a great fight and after showed so many other facets to his game. But he needs an opponent who can really put pressure on him, make him feel the shots, make him have to do something different, hold his feet at times. When you get that opponent, you are an exciting one. And obviously your skill set is magnified. But as George said, at this sort of level when you can dominate, and I've been there, the fights are always the most enjoyable to watch. Even though you can admire the skill set, but you're always asking for more, and that's unfortunately the cost it has to bear. He's too good for his own good at a certain level.
When he gets a chance here, and again, he's been brilliant.
Seconds out, 8th and final round.
But he's more than done what's required here. But you think back the end of 2021, that win that Barry mentioned against Carlos Gongora, feared puncher, brilliant win that. To win the IBO World Super Middleweight title. I thought he would build on that, Richards, and really move himself into that world picture. It just hasn't happened, but there is still time. Still only 31. Heavy hand there, heavy left hand.
And what was different with that? There was a change of pace in his work. Just a little bit of acceleration and speed in the stroke.
Could he get Ellison out of there in this 8th and final round?
If you catch your opponent with a good shot, right? Or they're not buzzed, but you catch them with a good shot, their natural reaction is always, well, I've got to get one back, and now I'm going to put the pressure on, I'm going to come. And then Lerrone Richards' natural response to that is, oh, pressure's coming, I've got to be safe, and then go back to my smart boxing. So every time he does land something decent, he can't help but revert back to safety first.
And he's expecting, isn't he? That's his first response.
Ellison's really started to feel these shots now. Again, that left hand from Lerrone Richards.
Loaded up on that one there, Richards. The worst shot he's thrown all night. I enjoyed it for me. I love the skill set. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And the way he just flows around the target quite comfortably. It's so smooth with everything he does.
I'm with you, Barry. It's poetry in motion, it's great to watch, but it's just not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, I like it, I appreciate it, guys. I like to, I'll be the third of that. But he will openly admit that he's suffered in his career, opportunity-wise, because he hasn't pulled the trigger and been able to get rid of some of the guys in front of him. He must be conscious of that. You must think, you know, even if it is at the expense of my silky skills, you've got to do something slightly different to get the opportunity. Or maybe he's not, maybe he's just patient. He's got the belief that his opportunity will come, and when it does, he'll capitalise on it.
Good strong finish here from Richards. Yeah, he's described his own pro career as horrible. Said he started on a small horse show on a Sunday afternoon. There's been ups and downs since. This will count as an up, certainly a dominant, impressive win here against a game Mickey Ellison, who appreciates, I think, the skill set as much as everybody. And much more to come from Barry and George throughout the course of the evening, but let's get the decision from our MC, Paul Booth.
Boxing fans, after 8 light heavyweight rounds of boxing, we ask our scoring referee, Lee Every, to decide the bout. He has it at 79 points to 74 points in favour of the winner from Carshalton, Surrey. Still undefeated, Lerrone, Sniper the Boss, Richards.